Hi, my name is David Poland, and I'd like to welcome you to Portland Film Beat. Tonight, my guest is Brad Burke. He is a writer, director, and cinematographer. Welcome aboard, Brad. How you
Thanks for
doing,
having
man?
me.
Yeah. So tell us about winning an RI Film and Language Award in 2011.
All right.
First of all, what is RI?
All right, so it's a Rotary International Award. It's generally an academic award, but this was one of the first times they gave it to a film studies, which was really cool because they saw it as literature. They saw the work as literature and as writing.
All right, great. And your first short film, Our World, is that what you won it for?
Yeah, it was for Our World, which then I submitted to festivals.
Right, and it toured throughout several film festivals in Europe, including.
Oh.
What is the film?
It went to RIFF, which is a random film festival which draws a bunch of films in, then it takes the top 10 and it shows them around Europe.
Okay, so what was the film about, Our World?
Our World was about a schizophrenic girl who I as a filmmaker see that we use a lot of like schizophrenia as excuses in films, and I don't think that they're usually portrayed properly.
Okay.
And I really wanted to properly portray schizophrenia in this film, and so it's about a girl who's being put on controversial medicine that puts her in this limbo.
Psychotropic.
Yeah. Okay. In between her reality and our own. And.
How long was the film? Is it a full feature length or is it short?
No, it's only a 5-minute short film.
Okay.
It started as an 8-minute short, but I was that director that went back and cut down my film and edited it again and again and again, and I was guilty of that.
So then you moved on to cinematography on the night, Robert
Madge on the night in concert.
Is that right?
And
the last flight of the cosmonaut?
Yeah.
So did you just do the cinematography? These weren't your films?
Yeah, they weren't my films. I was the director of photography on both of them. I was hired on. I saw this ad posted for cinematographer needed, and I was like, okay, I can do that. So
do you have your own camera?
And I have all my own camera equipment. I was hired on. On the Night was a concert film. There's a little British teen idol from I forget where in London, but he flew out and he did a concert. He was in Les Mis, the 25-year anniversary one. And he did this big show that we did. I did cinematography on.
And that was in 2012. So do you do all the cinematography on your own films, or do you have someone else do it then?
I don't like to do the cinematography on my own films because I feel like if I'm
you
going to do,
have your equipment and have somebody else come in.
Actually, we've been using other people's equipment recently.
Okay.
But I feel like if I'm gonna focus on cinematography or directing, it's one or the other.
You shouldn't. Yeah, I agree.
If I try to do both, one's gonna lack.
I've done both, and it's too insane.
Exactly. Yeah. And I need to be giving the actors the right amount of attention. Like I need to be able to talk to them. If I'm focusing on camera, I'm gonna let the actors do their own thing, which usually is good. It's often good, but sometimes it makes the actor feel uncomfortable because they're being so vulnerable. They're not getting as much feedback as they should from me.
Okay, so you do prefer directing then?
I do prefer directing.
You don't do any acting? You don't get in front of the camera?
I try to make a cameo every so often, and then I make those cameos where you have to make a cameo because your extra is gone or something.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Okay, no, I get it. So then you wrote and directed your first feature-length film. It's a musical called
Zompocalypse.
Zompocalypse, Dead End. All right, tell us about that.
All right.
Is this actually it's first of a trilogy?
It's the first of a trilogy.
Okay, tell us about the trilogy. And the
all right, so it was originally written as like a solo film. The co-writer, Olivia Cordell, who's an amazing co-writer, and we got together and we're like, okay, we really want to do a musical, but what subject do we want to do? We want to do something that no one's done before. So we were tossing around Shakespeare, we were tossing around Hamlet and Macbeth a lot. And then she's like, I got it, Brad. We can do a zombie apocalypse musical because who's ever heard of one of those?
So Zompocalypse, why Zom?
By Zom.
Why Zom?
Why Zom?
Z-O-M.
Z-O-M. Well, it's the first 3 letters of zombie.
Okay.
It was actually originally called Dead End, but there was a zombie movie already called Dead End, and we didn't really want our film to be mistaken for another.
So it's in post-production?
It's in post-production.
It's a trilogy.
It's a trilogy.
Is it short films or are they
They're feature films. I actually
okay.
don't know when they're going to be released. Likely my second feature will be actually released before the first one, because that one, it's going through a bunch of the studio process right now where it's post-production, but they're not sure if they want to reshoot some of it, sound design, but then they're considering reshooting some of it. It's up in the air.
Is that thing made, was it all made in Portland?
It was made Portland.
Shot in Portland, I mean.
It was shot in Portland, Eugene, out in Bend, a few locations down in Corvallis area.
Right. So when did you shoot this?
This
Because I know you just got done with another feature film, which we're going to talk about and see the trailer for. But when did you shoot this one then?
This one was done about a year and a half ago.
Okay. It takes a long time to get a film
It takes a long time. Yeah, it was 3 years of writing and then 3 months of shooting.
Really?
So, yeah.
You did shoot for 3 months, huh?
Yeah.
Wow.
We did the full 3 months.
What kind of camera did you use on it?
We did the Blackmagic.
Okay.
The 4K Blackmagic.
All right.
And we used some vintage Canon lenses on that. Really nice vintage glass, like beautiful lenses.
So, who was the cinematographer then?
On that film, there were 2 cinematographers, Chuck Greenwood and Jack Trezillo.
Okay.
Both of them are extremely talented. Chuck is, from what I've seen of his work in the past, he does a lot of like commercial work, where Jack, he was in narrative, so they brought these 2 different styles together and created just something that looks really nice.
Who were some of the main actors in it then?
John Branch, who is
I know John. He's gonna be. We'll see him a little later.
Yeah, John's in everything. John is amazing. He's one of the lead. Ilya Torres Garner. He's part of the band Babel Echo.
Okay.
Great singer, great actor. And Stephanie Andreas, who, if you ever get the chance to watch her act, she is absolutely incredible.
All right.
Just makes my job easy.
Okay, and what music videos have you been a part of? Because you've done a little bit of that too, right?
Yeah. Well, Ilya's band, Babel Echo, I've done 2 music videos.
Blackout?
Blackout, yeah, that's one of them.
And Look Back Once?
Look Back Once was actually for a band, Mellow Yellow. They're now called Space. They just went through a big band change where they moved, but they're still making music together, so they're living in 2 different places. So they're like, we're going to rename our band, call it Space, because there's the space separating us, and we see ourselves as space rock. I'm like, that's cool.
Okay, tell us. Okay, I'm moving on, sorry.
Yeah, no.
What is the UFO Film Festival?
The UFO Film Festival is a Eugene Film Festival.
Oh, Eugene, okay.
It's, university.
But Eugene's spelled with an E.
Yeah.
What am I thinking?
Yeah, no, it's actually the University Film Organization in Eugene.
Okay.
And so it's another school festival that they put on this big gala at the end of the year, and it's a chance for a lot of student work to be shown and a chance for the club to actually show
and
stuff.
you actually have had a few films accepted there, is that right?
Accepted there and a few other festivals. That one I had a film that I wrote and a film that I directed.
Right. Okay, and so you short this, we're going to talk about Waldgeist now.
Okay,
so
sounds good.
You shot the short film Waldgeist.
Yes.
And it was actually going to be a short, and you wrote it with Olivia Cordell.
Yeah.
You've written other stuff with her, right?
Yeah, I wrote the first feature with her. She's an amazing co-writer.
Okay, so what made you think that you should turn it into a feature film? And that's what's behind us, actually, right there, Waldgeist.
Yeah. I just, after seeing the first cut of it, it was 30 minutes long, and I go, oh no, this is a 30-minute short film. That's just the worst amount of time, because it's too long for most short films, and it's too short for most features.
Okay, yeah, right, it is.
And so I was looking at the quality, I'm like, well, I guess if we really want to, we can cut it down to maybe 20. It's still going to be on the longer end of things, but I really think that if we really spend some time writing and really spend some time like looking at this, we can create a feature out of this. It took us 5 days to shoot, and it's absolutely gorgeous. Like our cinematographer did such a good job. And so we went back and we rewrote a large portion of it. We actually used.
Could you use some of the original footage?
We used all the original footage,
okay,
and that
great.
actually became almost a side plot to our main plot line, and it just flows perfectly.
So you talked about the cinematographer did a great job. Who was that?
That was David Chang. Actually, David Chang and myself were the cinematographers in that film. That's
and what kind of camera did you use?
One of the rare films that I did cinematography
Okay.
on. But
Well, sometimes you have to step
yeah,
up.
no.
You gotta fill the many roles.
We used a Canon C100,
Okay.
and it's a really nice camera.
And John Branch was in that too.
John Branch was in that.
Okay. And so who were some of the other lead actors in that?
We have Zach, Nicole, Trebeau.
Okay, sorry, that's all right.
Sorry, Nicole.
Did you have a sound person there?
We did. We had Philip Davey was our sound engineer. He's great. He actually also wrote the score for the film, and I didn't know that he was a composer going into this film. So
I was going to ask you about the music.
he did the sound design, and then he's like, "Hey, Brad, I did this little thing," and he sends me, and I'm like, "Oh my gosh, Phil!" Like I don't get like super emotional about like my own work, like because I feel like I'm just used to it, but I hear this and it just flows so well with the score. And
so anyway, he did the music,
amazed.
And who edited this?
Claire Haynes.
So you don't edit your own films?
I don't edit my own films. Editing I can do editing, but I feel like there are stronger editors out there.
And actually, I think that, letting somebody else edit, you get the story.
You have to separate yourself from the film to edit, because sometimes there's like the take that you really want to keep in, but it just doesn't fit the film at all.
Right.
Yeah. No,
I'm kind of believing in that, and more. Hey, well, what we're going to do right now is actually, why Waldgeist?
Why Waldgeist? Okay, so Olivia and I, when we started
writing this. It's a German
name,
right?
It's a German name. When we started writing this, we're like, what is something that is very fitting in Oregon, like some mythical creature that like would totally fit Oregon? And so we started doing research, and we were thinking, well, Sasquatch. That's that's a little worn out. That's not quite a horror film. And so then we learned about Waldgeist, which are forest spirits, and so we thought that's
German, right?
Yeah, it's German, and
Black
we're like,
Forest or something, yeah.
That's so fitting of Oregon, just something that takes place
and that's
in the woods.
Come. Now I understand why the girl. We'll see the girl.
Yeah, you'll see her in it.
And where did you? So that's where you came up with the story then.
That's where we came up with the story. We knew that we really wanted to write just a very structured horror film. It's totally different now. It's now more of a crime thriller with a supernatural edge to it. But when we first sat down to write it, we knew that we wanted it to be a very classic horror film, take place during a party, all the typical tropes, because we like to parody that a little in our writing. But like I said, when we expanded it, it totally changed.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
When we watch it, we're going to take 2 minutes, and we'll be right back. We're going to watch Waldgeist, the trailer.
That's the old Bailey house where that burned down. Killed Mr. Bailey inside of it, too.
Damn, dude, that's terrible.
I guess, I mean, after it burned down, the police found a whole bunch of inside.
What was that about?
Somebody broke in and stole all the old evidence from the Bailey case.
They found all these pictures of these kids that go missing in the area, hidden right by that foundation. So
Hi, I'm Violet.
don't mention it tonight.
Why?
Is that it?
That's it.
No, it's fine, I'll head though.
Is everything okay? He was gonna kill me!
I didn't do it.
Okay, so you could see the spirit that she had like what is it, thorns around her head?
Yeah, the thorn mask. We had a great.
That was freaky, man.
Yeah, we had a really cool, a really great production designer, David Rodriguez, who was my roommate in college. Like, I contacted him out of the blue. He's usually theater production design. I told him, okay, we need these masks, and within 2 days, he sends me all these drawings of like different Waldgeist creations that he could do.
Wow.
And I saw that thorn mask, and that little girl, when we put it on her, she was just in it. She was that character.
Okay, she
it
became
was
the mask.
amazing.
Okay.
She was incredible. I've never worked with someone so young and so talented.
What are a few things you learned making this film?
Well, something that I was told going into my first feature was you need to always listen to everyone on set because film's such a collaborative effort. And I
Right.
felt like this film really just drilled that point in. Like
So-
every single person brings something to a film, and every single person is going to have ideas because we're all artists. Like
Right.
if you're in film, you're an artist.
You should listen to
You
other
should-
people.
and you need to listen to others because that's what's going to make the best film.
You mentioned that this guy was your roommate in college.
Yeah.
Did you study filmmaking in college?
I did.
Oh,
I
really?
did.
Where'd you go?
I went to U of O. I was one of their first filmmaking classes. I'd always.
So you got a big tie down to
I know.
Eugene,
I grew
right?
up in Eugene, and so when they didn't have a cinema studies program until 2 years before I was applying for colleges. So I got really lucky there.
Okay. So briefly describe what the appeal you think this film will have for an audience.
I think that the audience for this film is someone who's seeking a good thriller. It's very
Different type of.
very different type of thriller.
Thriller.
It's not necessarily a horror film. We do have one jump scare, but I'm not personally a fan of jump scares.
Yeah, jump scares. They always. Okay,
yeah,
that was the
it's
jump
one
scare.
moment, but I like to build that intensity, and so it's a very character-driven film with that thriller undertone, that this intensity that builds and builds throughout the film.
So it's still in post production.
It's still in post-production.
And when do you think it'll be ready?
I would like to see a cut of it by March.
Okay.
Again, sorry, Claire. Our editor.
Put her on the spot,
Yeah,
did
put her
ya?
on the spot. Yeah. No, but she's doing an amazing job. I actually got to see a rough cut of it last week, and I was supposed to be taking notes during this rough cut, but I got distracted. I got like so invested in the film that I forgot to take any notes. I took the first 15 minutes, have notes, and then the rest of the film,
You gotta go watch
no
it
notes
again.
for her. I have to go watch it
Oh,
again.
there you are.
And
Sorry.
I only had like an hour to do I only had 2 hours to do this meeting.
So who's doing the sound design on it then?
Phil Davey, our
Okay, the guy who did the
the
sound.
guy who did the sound.
Okay, that's good.
He's doing composing and sound design.
So you just got some really good news. You're going to be part of a TV series called Daughter of Time.
Yes.
Okay, and what's your role in that?
I started as the associate producer, but I've moved into the executive producer and showrunner position of that TV series.
Nice move, man.
Yeah, it's a fun move. No, but it's a really interesting TV series about time travel and about two assassins that go through time to try to fix the
Right,
future.
and it's actually been picked up by.
TV Taibai,
Okay.
which is a online network. One of the former executives of HBO just signed onto the network as one of the runners.
Okay, wow. And so you're also currently working on music videos.
Yes.
All right.
I just wrapped production of Babel Echo's second music video. They let me get really socially aware with my music videos. The first one was on the cycle of domestic abuse. The second music video is on positive body image. And we just wrapped production of that 2 weeks ago.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, so how is it different shooting a music video than a film?
Well, I'm not very good at sound. That's why I always have a sound guy.
You know, I'm glad to hear that you
yeah.
accept the fact that you don't have.
Oh,
that you've
I
got-
know I'm not good with sound. I know that I can do camera work, I can do visualizing, I can direct, but when it comes to sound, there needs to be a sound guy
Okay,
there,
I-
or we're gonna be in trouble. And sounds such a sign. Like if you watch a feature and it has bad sound design, you know it's a low budget film.
It just jumps out at you.
Yeah, and sounds it's so key to making
You
a
can
high
watch.
quality
You know,
film.
if it's a good story and it's got semi-okay images, you can watch it as long as the sound's great.
Exactly.
If it's a good story with
It can have the
great
most
images and
beautiful
bad
images
sound
in the world.
It's hard to watch.
Yeah, exactly.
It really is. Yeah. So I get that. Okay. Can you tell us about 8 types of crazy? And you're going to be bringing production of that in 2016. Is that correct?
Yeah, I'm gonna start.
Is this
that
something
next
you wrote?
summer. This is a film that I wrote. This is the first feature that I wrote just independently from anyone else. I started writing this one 4 years ago.
Okay.
5 years ago now.
So you
Wow.
take time to develop a story.
Yeah,
I like to hear that.
I like to really build the characters, and 8 Types of Crazy is based off the 8 different crazy family members we all have. I feel like everyone fills a role in a crazy family member position, and so I wanted to really explore that with this film. And so it's a road comedy. Our characters
when are you gonna start
travel
shooting
across
that?
the U.S. We're starting next summer. So
It's going to be a road comedy across the U.S.
Yeah.
So are you actually going to travel across the U.S.
well,
and
we're
do
gonna
this?
shoot the majority of. We're gonna shoot all the interiors and all of the Oregon stuff here, obviously,
Mm-hmm.
and then I'm gonna take a micro crew across the U.S. with our actors.
Wow.
So that's gonna be a lot of fun, but it's gonna look really good.
It's gonna be trying,
yeah,
too.
It's gonna be trying.
Well, that's
it's
part-
gonna be a
makes
lot
part
of
of fun of it,
shooting and
yeah.
getting to locations on time. But
and hotels and cars a
Hotels.
lot of time. Yeah,
Yeah.
So anyway, so what first got you interested in film?
I don't really remember what first got me interested in it, but I remember the first time I ever worked at camera was in the second grade. Made a little
Second grade?
Yeah, I made a little scooter video with my friend about those Razor roller scooters.
Was it VHS type?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, really?
Yeah, and from there I was just in love with that. I wrote my first screenplay in the third grade. Like,
Really?
I mean, I have no idea what it's about anymore, so no questions there.
That's
but
okay, yeah, but that's good.
yeah, it's been something that I've been in love with for a long time now.
Uh-huh. And how did you develop a storyline? How do you get your ideas for these? Like Wall Guys, you probably researched.
Wall Guys, I did a lot of research for it with.
So
Eight Types of
what did you come up
Crazy.
with? How did you come up with the idea for the 8 types of crazy?
It's a lot of personal stories, like a lot of little vignettes from my life. It's probably the most personal.
It's not about
film
your
I've
8 family members that are nuts.
No,
right?
of course not, family. It's not about you at all. But
Let's clarify that now.
no, I mean, I feel like I'm a little bit in each of the main 3 characters, and then my friends and relatives are in each of the main 3 characters and in each of the
Okay.
characters we see. And I tell stories, and they're,
You know, when I'm writing,
yeah,
my characters are composites
yeah.
of many different people I've met in the past.
Exactly. I mean, I saw something online the other day that said screenwriter will always tell you that they won't write this about you, like something embarrassing you did, but they're lying. They're lying. They're always.
They're
like,
not gonna write
thinking of
about you,
stuff.
but
They're
it's
not
gonna be-
write
it's gonna
about
come
you.
out in
It's
another
gonna take
character.
pieces of you, and it's gonna be in that character.
You
Yeah.
bet. Well, so how do you work with the actors as a director?
I like it to be a very collaborative process. I
Okay.
feel like, I mean, there are some people that I hear that like to take complete control of the situation,
work.
and I like to flow with the actor. I like to meet with the actor ahead of time, discuss who the character is, discuss how this character fits with them, and then on set, I feel like the small amounts of dialogue, but really let the character build as we film.
Nice, nice. So
Yeah.
how do you work with the cinematographer? Because I mean, I know we
Yeah.
watched the images and the edits, and they're really well done. So do you let them take care of it? Do you come up with your own shot list?
We come up with a shot list ahead
Beforehand?
of time.
Okay, that's good.
But it's taken me a long time to step back away from the camera since I really I did
And
the
let them do
cinematography
something and
on
then step
8
in a little
Types.
bit at the end, yeah.
But it's taken me like getting cinematographers I really trust to do that. But I talk with them ahead of time. We decide how we want to shoot it. Waldgeist is it's a horror film. It's very thriller. We want it to always feel alive, and so we decided we wanted to use only shoulder rigs throughout it. And so we planned the film around only using shoulder rigs, except for the few moments where they're safe, which we use tripod shots.
Right. Well, using the shoulder rigs gives movement to it, gives it action.
It gives it action. It gives it this feeling that people
Intensity,
are
a little-
always being watched, and that's
Right.
what we really wanted people to feel.
Well,
is
good.
There's that slight life to it. And
So how many films have you made? Do you know?
I don't know.
No. Okay.
I've made 2 features. Well, I've directed 2 features. I've worked
They're still
on,
being edited.
I've worked on 4 features total.
So what do you consider your strengths as a filmmaker?
I think that the environment on set, like that's something I'm really proud of. I feel like every set I've worked on, it's felt like a family. Everyone
Okay.
feels like a family.
Well, you
and
got a pretty friendly personality, so that's great.
Well, thank you. I feel like that's my strongest
Okay, good. Mhm.
attribute as a director.
All right. So
yeah.
what's your weakness then?
First of all, my weakness is sound design, but another weakness of mine is stepping back from the camera. I tend to hover by the cinematographer since I started in cinematography and features, so I need to let go of that and let the cinematographer do his thing. Luckily, I have a great AD, Wolfen Dancer, who she's able to come up and say, Brad, you're hovering by the camera. You need to
That's good.
stop hovering. And I'm like, yes, thanks.
So what is your favorite part of filmmaking?
Oh man, that's a really tough question because
'Cause you like it all?
I love it all.
Okay, so then what's your least favorite?
I mean, I personally like to stand back as far as editing. I'm not a big post-production guy. I like to stand back and let the editor just assemble and work their magic.
Okay.
I've done a lot of editing, but I like to be in pre-production and
I don't like
production.
editing.
Yeah.
I do a lot of it, but I don't really like it that
Yeah.
much. So when it comes to what's your favorite film or favorite film genres?
Ooh, I really like thrillers. I really like dramas,
Okay.
dark comedies. I've been told by a producer that there's no such thing as a dark comedy, but I think that's a lie. I think that
Is that where you
Yeah.
get your inspiration for a lot of your films in?
yeah,
It seems like it.
Yeah, a lot of dark humor in the film. A lot of thrillers that I've done. I like films that tell a human story. That's the most important thing as a filmmaker to me, is that I tell a human story, something that's really relatable.
So can the audience email you at that email address?
Yes,
that we have?
they can.
Okay.
If they have questions, they can email me at that email
To
address.
find out about your films and where to see them.
Definitely.
Okay, that's good. What A-list actor and or actress would you like to work with someday?
I have two. As far as actors go, I'd love to work with Jason Segel someday because I feel like he's known for his comedy. But did you see the end of the tour?
No.
The end of the tour, he plays David Foster Wallace, and he does a great job in a serious role.
Right.
And I see a lot of potential there, like as far as
Well,
an
he's
actor.
actually can be pretty intense.
And he can be very intense. And then as far as actresses go, Natalie Portman is amazing.
Okay.
Like, I would love to work with her.
Brad, it's been a joy having you on the show. We're going to have to wrap up Portland Film Beat right now. I want to thank Brad for being here.
Yeah, thanks
I
for
want to
having
thank
me.
my wife, Carol Poland, who's the producer. I want to thank Ellery Nelson, who's the director. I want to thank Krista, and all the people down here at TBC TV. I want to thank everybody, Emily and Kate down at PCM TV and all their help. Until next time, I'm Portland Film Beat. Shoot for the silver screen.